My name is Kenny Stoff. I was director of photography on Sound City. I think they realized that it was something bigger and could be something much larger. So they brought the producers on board, Jim Rhoda and John Ramsey, and those guys called me and said they wouldn't do it without me. So that's how I got it. They brought me in for the interview with Mick Fleetwood. I was at the Chateau Marmont in Hollywood, Bungalow 1. He walks in the door and he like ducks down because he's 6'5", you know, and he peeks up. He's like, "I think I OD'd in this room, mate." And that was my first day on the job. Once I knew who it was Dave, and it was going to be Mick Fleetwood. Shooting Red was a no-brainer. I thought we should start there. We actually shot that interview on Red 1 MXs, and after I got the job, I guess that day went well enough that they decided to go with me and my team. I said, well, we should shoot 5K, we should shoot epic, and have the possibility of, large format and projection. I always had this movie in mind, being shown in the theaters, and wanted to shoot it on the highest resolution possible. All the interviews are 5K. For the performance stuff, there was so much shooting, we shot at 4K, but all the interviews were 5K. And yeah, it was just a no-brainer. They said when they hired me that first day, they wanted to look like a movie. And that was my goal. That's what I set out to do. For me, it was Neil. He was the first artist to say yes, and the last interview really to get. When we started, well, we set up for a while, obviously. It was a blue sky, picturesque, not a cloud in the sky, cyan and blue aquamarine water. But 10 minutes before Neil showed up, I turned off the cameras because we'd been setting up for a while. They were really hot. It was pretty humid and hot down there that day over the summer. And we got the call, he's on his way down. Okay, turn on the cameras, let's go. And literally turned on the camera, looked at the monitor, and clouds had gathered within that span and completely clouded up the shot, hazed it up. And it was like Neil brought his own weather. Like, he doesn't do blue skies, Neil he's like the Gandalf of music. He's a white wizard, so clouds formed over our shoot. But the amazing thing about that was it made the shot that much better. It gave me grayscale. His shirt was white with green little palm trees on it, and they were meshing with the palm trees behind him, and it was just magic. It was just like, when the photo gods smile down on you. They were all very eager to tell their part in the history of Sound City, because Fleetwood Mac, or at least the modern incarnation of Fleetwood Mac, was formed there. Tom Petty recorded all of his albums there, a lot of them with Rick Rubin. Nirvana, Rage Against the Machine, Caius, Queens of the Stone Age, like bands that I love, all recorded there. And that was part of my motivation shooting, was really bring out who these human beings are, like accentuate their personalities, tailor their looks and their lighting and their vibe to who they were. I had the pleasure to shoot Tom Skeeter's interview at Sound City when Dave was playing the Smells Like Teen Spirit drums bit, was in the room at Sound City, and you can feel it there. Like, there's some kind of magic there. There's something there. We had no idea. We had no idea. Rick was heavy, man. He's dark. Like, his interview, he cried in his interview. These people, Nick Raskulinecz cried in it. These people really cared about Sound City. It was a part of their life. And Rick, even more. We didn't realize it, and it became this seminal storyline because of how it was this underdog story. He was huge. He was the biggest thing at that time. And because of, changing managers and what happened, and some bad decision and getting lured one way or the other, it all fell apart. And it's a sad story. The song he plays and sings is called "The Man That Never Was." He is the man that never was. I knew it was special the whole time, and I think the editor, Paul Crowder, did an amazing job, and the writer, Mark Monroe, of weaving that story. And it always centered around this human element, these people in this place at this time. It was special, and it was, I keep saying it, I'm sorry I repeat it, but I knew it from day one. I knew it the whole time we were shooting, like this was not your normal documentary. This movie, there was a ton of prep work. There was as much prep work as production work. Every shoot, every interview, every performance had a lot of pre-thought and pre-planning, so that we could come in and it would just seem like we're having fun, everything's good to go. but we spent a lot of time planning and thinking about, you know, I wanted to custom tailor each and every interview and performance to that artist, because these people are my heroes too. I'm a huge music fan, and you know, you talk about Fleetwood Mac, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and you know, Paul McCartney came in. It's pretty heavy. So I just wanted to do them justice. I just wanted to make them look as epic and badass as they are. Red, especially the epic, is really ideal for music documentary because it's interview and it's performance, and so you need sort of that music video capability for the performance, the sort of glossier, high-end looking, you know, capability, and then you also need sort of the gritty and raw documentary, you know, run and gun capabilities. So for me, the epic really was the only solution. I really rely heavy on my DIT, Riley, and we shoot stuff, and then that first card we go look at it, and we set a LUT that I'm happy with, and you know, he has a great eye for color and grading, and so our LUTs are like, when we graded the movie, you know, in DI, full color grading, you know, we didn't do much. We sweetened it, but it was pretty close to the LUTs. And we operated in the lower end of the sensor on most of the movie, a lot of the performance stuff. I kept pushing darker. It kept getting darker. Dave wanted it to go that way. We started sort of like a documentary, and the performances started that way, like Rick Springfield's performance. And then Dave came to me one day and he said, "Kenny, what do you think about making the walls dark?" And I was like, "Ooh, I love that." And then it became a rockumentary, and it got darker and darker. And you know, Red, especially the Epic, has a beautiful grain structure. It's not square like a lot of digital cameras. It's actually kind of rounded off. I guess it's actually gain, but I call it grain because I'm old school like that. And it looks kind of nice. And so even doing a lot of slow-mo stuff at 1600 ISO, where it looks like it's starting to fall apart, when the image moves, it looks like film. Prep your butt off so you can be in a position to let go the day of. Don't be making too many creative decisions once you're already going. Have the groundwork laid, and then be able to just not overthink it and just shoot it. When I have the rig on and everything's dialed in, I don't have to think. It's just an extension of my body, and I can be one with the talent and move with whatever, and it's a really great idea, you know, a great feeling if you can achieve that. You don't want to be futzing with stuff. You don't want to not know how something works. So, you know, it was just a comfort level, and I knew they could handle it. When you're in the room, too, and these guys are making music, there's this tangible, like, air. And, like, your movement affects the air. Like, it's a dance with everybody. Well, since Sundance, my life has taken a turn for the surreal. But, yeah, people wanted to shake my hand. They wanted to tell me how much they loved the movie, how beautiful they thought it was, how much it impacted them, or they felt a connection to it. And for me, that's, like, the greatest compliment of all. But the experience has been incredible, especially watching it in theaters with live audiences, because it's a rock movie, it's loud, there's moments of gasping and laughing, and like just seeing them all hit at the right times and seeing different audiences react a little bit differently. That was my goal, to do that, to put you, the viewer, in the room to feel this experience, because it happened right in front of us live. It was not scripted, they did not talk about it before. Like, it's like Petty says it, it's like capturing that lightning in a bottle. Magic in a bottle, and it happened.